You're sitting in a cold, grey room inside a federal building. No windows, just flickering fluorescent light and the sound of your own breathing. In front of you, a single document, a pen, and a US Marshal sitting across the table who hasn't blinked in 3 minutes. The moment you sign this paper, you will cease to exist. Not metaphorically, not poetically. Your name's gone. Your birthday gone. Your address, your job, your friends, your entire paper trail of being alive on this planet. Erased. And here's the part nobody talks about. You didn't choose this. Nobody wakes up one morning and says, I think I'll disappear today. You're here because the alternative is a bullet. Welcome to the Witness Protection Program. Let's walk through every level of it because it is so much darker than Hollywood ever showed you. The United States Marshals Service runs what's officially called WITSEC, the Witness Security Program. Since 1971, they've protected over 19,000 witnesses and their family members. And their record, 0 deaths, as long as you follow the rules. Now let's talk about the rules, because this is where it gets brutal. You cannot contact your family, not now, not in a year, not ever. You cannot call your mom on her birthday. You cannot text your best friend to see if they're okay. You cannot even send an anonymous letter because handwriting can be analyzed. And your dog, leave it behind. Pets have vet records, microchips, vaccination histories, a paper trail that a motivated hitman absolutely will follow. So you sit there, pen hovering over this document, and the marshal tells you, once you sign, we move fast, pack light, you won't be going back. You think about your apartment, your photos on the wall, the coffee mug your sister got you for Christmas. You think, can I at least say goodbye? The answer is no. The answer is always no. You sign. It's 2 a.m. You're in the back seat of an unmarked government vehicle, somewhere on a highway you don't recognize, heading to a state you've never lived in. No one tells you where you're going until you're almost there. You pull up to a furnished apartment. Generic beige walls, IKEA furniture. It smells like cleaning products and nobody. On the kitchen counter, a manila folder. You open it. Inside is your new life. A new name, a new birthday, a social security number that technically belongs to someone who never existed. Employment records for jobs you never worked. A backstory covering the last 30 years of your life, cities you lived in, schools you attended, all of it fabricated by government specialists. And then the marshal hands you one more thing, a blank index card with your new signature on it. Practice this, he says, until it feels natural, until you don't hesitate for even half a second. Because here's the thing, in your new life, someone is going to hand you a credit card receipt at a grocery store. And if you pause, even for a split second, trying to remember which name is yours now, that hesitation could get you killed. So you sit at the kitchen table alone at 3 in the morning, in a city you don't know, writing a stranger's signature over and over and over again. Hundreds of times, until your hand goes numb, until it stops feeling like lying. 6 months in, you've built something. You have a job, whatever cover career your handlers set up for you. Maybe you're a store manager now. Maybe you're doing bookkeeping. You've learned which coworkers to avoid and which ones ask too many questions. Your neighbor, Linda, invited you to her backyard barbecue last weekend. You almost went, but then you remembered, the more they know you, the more dangerous it gets. Not for you, for them. So you smiled and said you had other plans. You have no other plans. You never have other plans. This is the part the movies skip, the loneliness. Not the running, not the gunfire. The part where it's a Tuesday night and you are sitting alone watching TV with a name that isn't yours, in a life that belongs to no one. And somewhere across the country, your mother is having dinner and she doesn't know if you're alive. And you are not allowed to tell her. 2 years after you disappeared, the trial date arrives. You are flown back, different city, different airport, heavy US Marshal escort on all sides. You enter through a back entrance. You are placed in a room and told, do not speak to anyone. Do not make eye contact with anyone in the gallery. And then they walk you in. The courtroom. and you see him 20 feet away. The man you watched commit murder. The man whose organization has been hunting for you for 2 years. He looks right at you. He smiles. The cross-examination is 3 hours long. The defense attorney is trying to tear you apart. Your credibility, your history, your motive for testifying. Every answer has to be precise, measured, because one slip, one detail that contradicts your new backstory, and not only is the case compromised, but now the defendant's legal team knows something is off. But you hold it together. And then the verdict. Guilty. You thought you'd feel something. Relief, victory, justice. But the marshal is already touching your elbow, steering you toward the exit. We need to move right now, he says. The family has people outside. There is no moment of triumph. There is no exhale. There is only run again. 17 years later. Your hair is graying now. The city they relocated you to, you actually kind of love it. There's a diner on 5th Street where the owner knows your order. There's a park where you walk every Sunday morning. This is your life now. It has been for almost 2 decades. Then one morning, your handler calls. The crime family you testified against has dissolved. The last major player died in prison 8 months ago. And after a full threat assessment, the marshals tell you that you could go back. Your original identity, they can help you reclaim it, at least on paper. You sit with this for a long time, and then you realize something devastating. You don't know how to be that person anymore. The person you were before, their hobbies, their mannerisms, their way of laughing. You've spent 17 years unlearning all of it. You missed your mother's funeral, your siblings' weddings. Your nieces and nephews grew up not knowing you existed. You could walk back into that world tomorrow, but you'd be walking in as a stranger, a ghost wearing someone else's face. The program kept you alive, and to do it, it erased everything that made life worth living. WITSEC has protected over 19,000 people since 1971. 0 deaths. That is the record. But no one measures the other cost. No one counts the birthdays missed, the funerals attended by empty chairs, the versions of yourself you had to bury just to stay breathing. The witness protection program doesn't keep you alive by protecting you. It keeps you alive by making sure you never existed in the first place. If this video hit you differently than you expected, share it and drop in the comments. Could you do it? Could you pick up that pen and sign away everything you are? I'll see you in the next one.